So this episode of God of High School was pretty filled with exposition, a lot of info dump, a lot of information, and a lot of character updates, character development and stuff. So it's not a pretty packed episode, and I was not able to keep up with everything, but let's see how much can I cover. I'm probably going to make a video about why I love God of High School so much, so if you want that in video, please subscribe to my channel. We start the episode from the perspective of Jin's grandpa, who is studying alone in the forest and being approached by a group of cultists who is later revealed to be a group called... Looks like they are probably trying to recruit Jin's grandpa, but he was not having any of that. We find out that his grandpa has a streamer personality and does whatever he wants, same as Jin. The rules for the qualification of the tournament has been changed, and now they are taking 3 participants total because there being more Tigers Cups, means being people more with powers, and yep, that's why they were taking 3 groups. And I know something like this is probably going to happen because we have 3 main characters and they must continue the story, so that's why. The Capybara fighter was defeated by Mira, and Mira was also been qualified. We found out more about Mira and her character development, that she thinks that she is not good enough and she is probably a burden to the rest of the group. We find out that the cultist group is also making some moves, trying to recruit more people and doing stuff behind the scene, killing people. We also face some character deaths in the episode. I'm going to talk about them later. We also find about a group called the Six, which are the top 6 fighter of the organization of God of High School probably, and they're pretty powerful. We are introduced to one of them, who is an old grandpa with one arm, was pretty powerful and was able to fight the guy who crushed the island with one hand pretty easily. So yeah, he's pretty powerful too. And the guy who crushed the island is also a part of this group called Six. We also find out that the old grandpa already know about Jin's grandpa, and he is probably familiar to him, and he was going to train Jin. We also find out about Jin's mentality, that how simple-minded he is. He fights just for the sake of fighting, and he's not able, and he doesn't even know what he's going to do about the wish which he's going to get if he wins the tournament. We were also introduced to a bunch of new characters. I was not able to keep up with all of them, but I was pretty interested in 2 of them, 2 especially. One being the guy with the blue hair, the long blue hair, who is pretty strong, and the guy is fighting with. Those 2 guys are going to be pretty interesting and probably going to be the opponent of our main trio. Later in the episode, we see Jin's grandpa once again, who was still fighting the group and was probably able to defeat them quite easily. But the rest of the party was trying to summon something from the sky, and we see that they summoned a huge ass sword from the sky, similar to the Gate of Babylon. The sword was pretty huge, and we have a rough idea of the power scaling of this show due to this feat. And there was a huge sword, and the scene cuts. We don't know what exactly happened to Jin grandpa, but it's probably alive. The name of this power system is God power, which is how much power of God someone possesses, and we can see that in their watches, the wristband they are wearing, there is something called GP equal to God power. And our main characters also find out about this thing, and we know that our main character is not nearly enough powerful to compete with these guys. He is just kicking, and those guys are summoning huge ass swords and stands. So yeah, so Jin has to probably train a lot to fight people like this, and this is going to be pretty interesting. Let's see what kind of power Jin develops. The fight between the blue-haired guy and his opponent was pretty interesting. The blue-haired guy summoned something like a black hole and stuff, and was burned by the other guy using some kind of fire ability. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. The grandpa with one arms meets Jin and is probably going to train Jin, and we later find out in the episode that Jin is probably training with the grandpa because he was able to fix Mira same way the grandpa fixed his leg. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. So our main character Jin is also developing some kind of power. Hopefully it's something similar to Monkey King, because there is a lot of similarity, and we also see some kind of flashback during the episodes that he's pretty similar to the Monkey King. So yeah, I think his power is going to be something similar to the Monkey King. Now let's come to the end of the episode, which is pretty interesting. So we find out that the group Nox is making pretty big moves, and they're trying to intercept and trying to stop the God of High School tournament for some reason, or maybe trying to recruit the participants in some kind of cult. And they are pretty against the whole God of High School tournament, at least I think so. And one of their assassin is trying to kill the members of the God of High School party. We find out that the Mira meets the commentator guy, the guy who is hosting the God of High School tournament, and he was also pretty powerful. He gives Mira some kind of advice, the way to use the moon sword, and that she's not summoning the power well enough, and she has way more potential. And we find out that he's also pretty powerful because he was able to use the branch of a sword and when he swings, the leaves and the trees all start falling. So yeah, he's pretty powerful. And still, he was killed by an assassin from Nox. And we later find out the episode that he's dead. So a big character in the 6th episode. And we also find out in the last scene of the episode that the other guy, the guy with the Joker stand, was also killed. Probably because we see that he's bleeding with a sword on his chest. So he's probably dead or probably not. Let's see the next episode. Hopefully he's still alive because I was pretty interested in his power. He has a great stand or GP. So the tournament is going to start next week probably, and the next episode we are going to head into the tournament and we are going to be seeing a lot of new participants and a lot of new competition and back in action. This episode didn't have a lot of action. I was expecting a lot of action and there was nothing there, so yeah, that was pretty boring. So yeah, comment below what do you think about this episode. Do you liked it or not, and how interesting it was. I'm probably going to make more videos about God of High School and other anime, manga and web novels. So if you're interested, subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment below and stuff. Hopefully I can see you in the next episode, and bye.